chit chat. Grab your popcorn, sit tight, we're ready to roll. In the heart of Sacktown, we're feeding your soul. In the King's Court, the vibe's electric. If you don't like that, we're here to correct it. With the best in the game, we're raising the bar. From the hardwood to the airways, we're the King's shining star. With the NFL, Adams in the ring. Rhino's got the wisdom, hear the praises we sing. Court in session, it's a royal affair. With the fans all around, feel the passion in the air. In the King's Court, the vibe's electric. If you don't like that, we're here to correct it. With the best in the game, we're raising the bar. From the hardwood to the airways, we're the King's shining star.
Order in the court.
And then there were 3 left. What's up, everybody? King's Court Wednesday. We're not gone for good. Don't worry. Just the live daily show is going to be going on hiatus because of the return of the Grant Napier show. That's right. September 2nd, Fox Sports Radio. Make sure you check it out. 5 days a week, 3 to 6 p.m. Kicking off September 2nd. Download the KSAC app. If you haven't already, it is in your app stores, whether you are an Apple user or an Android user. How's everybody doing? What's up? You know, we've been reminiscing over the last few days. I have a segment for you today that was a fan favorite. Y'all never let go of this one. So we're going to run that back as we will the rest of the week run back some of the more memorable segments on this show that really spiked the chat, that took the show over. I'll be interested to see if anybody can guess what today's is. We'll also get to some Immaculate grids Wednesdays, usually some fun and games around here. Also, 'tis the time of the year, so we might as well look at a couple of lists, the most impactful sports TV play-by-play voices of the 21st century, according to The Athletic. How about ranking the top 25 players of the 21st century, from LeBron to Russ to Kobe? I'm not usually a list guy, but I'm interested to see where that list comes in addition to taking your calls and getting to the chat in a few minutes. As you know, call the show using the link that's in the chat. It's actually pinned to the top. I will put it in again. You can also scan the QR code that is on the screen as well. Not a very busy day in the world of sports. You got some baseball going on. You know what caught me at the start of the show? So I always got an iPad right here monitoring if there's anything that changes nationally. Maybe if there's a baseball game on, I'm following it. And I was able to make my way, maneuver around the Little League World Series, and I found myself to ESPN bets. Now, I'm not locked in on the screen. I'm doing other things, getting ready for the show. And then I hear, all right, let's go over the odds for Protector of the Year. Protector of the Year. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, can you bet on anything? So you know what? What did I do? I go to ESPN Bet, and I'm looking. Protector of the Year? How about Trojan? I mean, that's probably a good one. Is that the favorite? No, but it's just nuts. The props you can bet on. Protector of the Year. Who's the favorite? Penai Sewell? Okay, Lane Johnson. Jordan Maeda. Trent Williams. I think Trent Williams is going to play a lot of football. I don't know. It's insane. Lacrosse. Hockey, motorsports. How about surfing? Anybody want to get some action on surfing? According to ESPN Bets, if you don't want action on surfing, you could get in on the Table Tennis Cup right now that's live. We've got Jay Osmore versus D. Vajtek. Looks like Osmura, is the favorite there at plus 260. It's going on right now. It's live. This thing's right in the middle. Which way should we go? Silliness, super crazy. So just a little random thought to begin the show. I want to get that down off my computers as quickly as possible. I don't want my devices to hear any of this because now I'm going to get it all the time. Hey, here's the latest line on underwater basket weaving. You know, it's just ridiculous. So I also want to catch up with CrossFit. In the story about Lazar Dukic, I said that Dorian and I were talking about this, and it had been in the back of my mind. It's just under a year since he died in event one of last year's CrossFit Games, and it seems like it's been eerily silent. So I want to kind of catch up with that story. What ended up happening? Because there was an investigation, which who would have thought? It's sealed. The results of the investigation are sealed. So we'll get to all that. Let's get to you first, and then we will hop into the meat and the potatoes of the show. By the way, Grant back tonight, 7 o'clock. I might join him. I say that from time to time. I might join him from the man cave tonight. But join him. Dennis, dude, I got to tell you, you are walking a line. Now, Dennis, you did it yesterday on this show, and you get a reaction out of me, but knowing my partner there, Napes, he is being very, very lenient and patient with you. So my question is, Dennis, is this just a brand? This Westbrook Kuminga, is this your brand? You must listen to Jim Rome too, because when you're a Jim Rome caller, texter, emailer, you got to have a brand. I'm starting to think this is your brand. I'm starting to think you don't even believe Kuminga and Westbrook, but you're getting reaction, so you like it. So, Dennis, try your luck again. Everybody else, 7 o'clock tonight. I mean, Grant, if you watch that show, Grant was trying to hold back as much as he could. It was hilarious. Looks like Dennis is close to the top of the first in today. Light the beam. Yeah, I'm going to tell you. About that. Make sure you're outside tonight. It might be the only time you see the beam lit all year. I'll tell you why. It's Double Down Wednesday. Oh, great. Dennis, you're going to put me in for that kind of day, dude. I gave you leniency by not putting the penalty box into the lineup. Now I'm second guessing it. Come on. Dennis, you got the Hoopside page open for us. Yeah, exactly. What's up, Tris? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you, man. Thank you for what you did yesterday, by the way. That was really cool. That's going to all go to Jerry. Hit the thumbs up. My man MC, hope you're doing well. Uh-oh. Somebody's on the phone lines. Who do you think it is? Need beam? You're going to get some beam. I'll tell you why. It's going to come sooner rather than later. Who do you think's on the lines right now? Who do you think might be calling the show? Pick a side. Who is calling the show? Who can see it? John Finch is so funny. He's so funny because every 4 to 5 weeks during the basketball season, because he is in the handful of people that have my personal cell phone number, because we've actually gotten together before, he'll send me a text or he'll call me after a post-game show. Can you see the beam, Ryan? Can you see it tonight? No, John, I can't. I can't see the beam from where I live, man. But he'll follow up again another 4 weeks after that. Can you see the beam? No, John, my house is not mobile. It does not move. I can't see it. Maybe this season. We'll see. Dan chimes in. Grant, by far the best sports personality Sacramento ever had. Welcome back. Well said by you, Dan. I think Grant should actually be on that list. I'm not going to lie to you for numerous reasons. Dennis does not listen to Jim Rome. What's up, Mac? Haven't seen you in a minute. Hope you're doing well. Do you think it's Mac that's on the line? Peter, if only Ryan knew how to limit the number of responses per person in the chat, right? You all got to get through. Dennis is, should we just call Dennis a bot? I don't know. Fueled on liquor and beam. Oh, my goodness. All right, we might as well check the phones. Who do you think it is? Is it Tay? Is it Mac? I haven't heard from Mac in a little bit. Might be Kazzy. Let's see. Let's check in. Caller, are you there?
I'm available.
Oh my gosh. Let me guess. Like, can you say something again? I want to see if the voice matches up. Say something.
Ivermectin.
Grant! Dennis, stop.
Yeah, I think that's him. Dennis, what's up,
Grant.
dude?
What's going down?
How are you?
I'm good, brother. I'm ready for this Double Down Wednesday.
What exactly are we doubling down?
Well, I don't want you to double down on Grant's bet. I mean, Grant already owes me Bennett's. I foresee that in the future because I'm psychic like that. But you can bet with me, J.K. Westbrook on this team. Double down.
Okay.
Double down.
Okay, and by the way, there was something that happened last year where Dennis was like
Predicting everything, I know.
slow down, dude. Come
Hey, champ,
on.
you there?
Slow down, brother. He got something right, but like
A couple things right. I know.
But 2 nights before that, Grant was like, Dennis, let me tell you, that's like 13. No, it was the draft. You got it wrong. You thought we were going to get the first pick. That's what it was. And Grant laid it out. He's like, so would you take those odds, Dennis? If you had a 13% chance of waking up tomorrow?
I told him if I lived in Texas, I would have a better chance than living in California.
Yeah, there you go. So anyway, I just don't see it. I mean, maybe if Kuminga comes, but
Yeah, no. The thing is, you know me. I said it's gonna be a trifecta. We're gonna get J.K., we're gonna get Westbrook, and we're gonna get 43 wins. That's the trifecta for me.
damn.
Yeah, that's what I envision.
So what would you put on that? What would you put on that? It's easy to like throw. I mean, you throw a million chats out every day. So like, what would you realistically put on that? That the Kings will have 43 wins. Westbrook and Kuminga will start the season on the Kings roster.
Like I said, I would be holding up a sign for Fox Sports Sacramento, #1 sports show on the
It will be.
every single day until that happened. Honestly.
All right, I know you will be. You're diehard. You're diehard, brother. I'm gonna have to beat you away from the studio. So, anyways, good thing you don't know where my control room is.
I'll find it.
Yeah, you probably will. That's true. So, all right, buddy. Thanks for calling. Thanks for being a good sport. You the man. That's how you do it.
Yep.
As much as Dennis annoys us, we do love us some Dennis at times. I like what Dennis is saying. Mac, don't do it to me this early in the show. Don't do it to me. What everybody's talking about, by the way, is reportedly the Kings are going to be lighting the beam tonight to test it out for this coming season. So if you are within range, look for the beam tonight. Jason Anderson and who else said it? Sean Cunningham also said that the beam will be hopefully lit. Hopefully not for the only time in 2025. But yeah, if you're into it, I know John Finch will be. John will be grilling it up, looking at that beam. Then go check it out tonight. Look at that. That makes the news. That's how slow it is right now. We're talking about the beam being lit in the off season. You know what else caught my eye? Did anybody watch Hard Knocks last night? Have you been following Hard Knocks with the Buffalo Bills? Anybody? I'll wait in the chat to see if anybody chimes in on that. They had their inter squad scrimmage, then they had their game. Did anybody check out Tre'Davious White? Inevitably, every Hard Knocks, every time HBO does Hard Knocks, they catch something unintentionally that becomes one of those moments that you remember from that preseason of Hard Knocks. Now, some of them are kind of jammed down your throat, like Chad Ochocinco, Kiss the Baby, all that kind of stuff. But others just become like these things where it's like, okay, that is my memory if I think about Hard Knocks. I'm trying to think about a couple other examples. I will, but I promise you, once I show you this, it's going to become your memory too. Check out Tre'Davious White and the amount of sweat. He's talking about how his feet are heavy. He's like, I can't play like this. My feet are too heavy. This is why I can't do training camp like this. And you're thinking, all right, because I know guys that were with the Kings that changed jerseys at half times because they didn't like that wet feeling. And that's kind of gone away as the jerseys have gotten much better. There's some guys that do it out of, being superstitious and whatnot. But I was waiting for this guy just to change his cleats. No, check this out. So, yeah, got to get those cleats off mid-scrimmage. Oh, that sock, man, it's so wet. Boom! They're trolling us. That dude had his feet in water before he took those off. There's no way that much sweat can come off of a human being and absorb into a sock. Because if the sock is straight against your leg, it has to be coming from the bottom. This has gone completely viral, rather disgusting too, but holy crap, he was not lying. Dude was playing underwater. And the equipment manager brings him another pair of socks and he goes, oh man, you bringing me the Dollar Tree socks? So they didn't have the NFL logo on them. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I will not subject you to another watching of that, but that really, really caught my eye big time. Another thing that caught my eye was this whole Anthony Richardson stuff. Was anybody really surprised that he wasn't going to be the starter in Indy when you bring in Danny Dimes, who until very recently, I believe at one point last year, his interceptions were more than his touchdowns. And I actually like him. I don't think he was very well protected. I don't think he had much of a running game to help him. The Giants behind an 8-ball for the last few seasons, just could not get in front of things. But at $14 million a year, that guy's going to be starting, right? But then now there's talk about trading Anthony Richardson. And it's the same Anthony Richardson that has to come out of a game, the same one last season where the team had to sit down with him before this season started and lay out some expectations. If you got to do that for a quarterback, probably not your starting quarterback. So I wonder how much it is an indictment of him and how much it's also an indictment of Shane Steichen. He was supposed to be able to develop that quarterback. He could not. So we've got our list that we're going to get into. I want to do the update on LeVar Dukic as well. We've got the Immaculate grids. If you have not done one of those with us, we're going to get into those here in just a little bit. Those are fun. I like doing those with all you, but we've got to do way better. The last 2 weeks that we have done them, it has not been good. Not been good at all. Peter says Grant didn't really want to talk about Daniel Jones in Indianapolis, said the Colts are just as bad as the Giants. I didn't agree. They're not as bad as the Giants. No, I disagree with that. But I also disagree with anybody writing off a quarterback after one stop. I actually disagree with anybody writing off a quarterback after 2 stops. And y'all can thank Geno Smith for that. You know why? Because Geno didn't write back. What happened after Geno? Baker Mayfield got another chance. He's now the franchise guy in Tampa. Those guys have now given opportunity for some of these quarterbacks that have had a tough start to their career. Sam, our quarterback in Seattle as well. So there you go, Sam Darnold. Let's first go back to the phones before we get to our nostalgia segment of the day as we count down some of the funnier and more memorable King's Court moments. Let's get to Mac on the phone. What's up, Mac?
How are you?
Good. How you doing, dude? It's been a minute.
Yeah. I started the school year, and that's like the worst time as a teacher, is because I've been planning the whole year for the last 2 weeks. So uh, things
What
are
what
kind of dying down. Go
what
ahead.
grade? What grade do you teach, Mac?
Special education, 7th grade.
Bless you, dude.
So
Bless
I
your heart.
so what I do. So I kind of had to get all the. They have in special education, you have a IEP meeting, so I
Yep.
had to schedule all my meetings for the year, make sure I have an admin. So just getting the year ready, and it just takes time. It's not like it's just busy. It's paperwork. It's busy work.
Teachers to me are one of the most underpaid jobs and underappreciated jobs here in America, and I don't get it because they're in charge of the most important thing with our youth in many ways, their education. But I've announced on this show, we've talked about it. My son was diagnosed with autism.
Mhm.
And I'm very intimate with that process. And I'm also very intimate with the patience it takes sometimes to work with children with special needs. And so it takes a heart of a saint, dude. I
Well,
respect the hell out of you for that,
I've
brother.
told you this. I was a sped kid, and really, what got me through school was sports and those coaches that were teachers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I met my wife, so I couldn't become a priest because that's what I wanted to do. But so I thought, well, what's something else I could do? And I was like, well, some people I really looked up to were coaches who were teachers, and the ones that guided me. And I always wished I had a teacher who was kind of like me, who got it, who knew what it meant to not know how to comprehend, or where you're reading but you don't know what you're reading and stuff like that.
Yep.
So that's why I became a teacher.
I love
my
it,
wife
dude.
my wife always says she's going to go to hell because she took a priest away, but
That's a
no,
good
I was-
line.
I
That is a
was-
good line. I like that.
yeah, because I was legitimately going to college to become a priest, and I met her. I couldn't. Yeah. So at least I married her.
Whoa. Dude, how weird of a turn is that? Because you're going the opposite way. She
What do you
must have
mean?
been pretty special. If you're going to school to be a priest, don't priests usually stay single?
Well, yeah. I hadn't taken vows. I was in my undergrad, and so a lot of so I still had time to think about it. And I'm not saying I didn't do reflections and stuff. It's just I met her, and I thought she was really cute, and the thing that made her different is we could just talk forever and ever and ever. And that's where it was like, wow, I never thought of anyone like that. And so I just did a lot of reflecting, and then we started and then I asked to date her. So that's kind of what happened.
Love it, dude. And you
Yeah.
asked to date. Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
Good job.
So also one thing I wanted to realize how, I don't want to say immature, but I don't know what the right word is. My happiness for this fall relies on a 19-year-old at quarterback for Notre Dame, CJ Carr.
Mhm.
It's kind of weird as a 36-year-old man, soon to be 37, to say my happiness depends on a 19-year-old. Anyway, I have a grievance that I wanted to air.
Oh, all right. You know what? This week is for whatever you guys want to do on any day that it might
Perfect.
be, except for Jerry. I can't get him here every day, but
The airing
there you
of
go,
grievances.
Mac. You got your
I got a
Imogene.
lot of problems with you people. Now you're going to hear about it.
So I have a grievance against Major League Baseball and the writers of Major League Baseball. There is no reason why people like Roger Clemens, Mark McGwire, and Barry Bonds should not be in the Hall of Fame. They did not cheat. They didn't. You may not like that they did steroids, but they didn't cheat. The owners enabled and allowed steroid taking for the whole year because those men were making money for the owners to make up for that strike that they had in '94. You like that ballpark in San Francisco? Barry Bonds built it. They're the Tampa Bay Giants, if not for Peter McGowan and Barry Bonds. They didn't break. And also, how dare those writers who had grudges against those men perform a narrative to call them cheaters? They weren't. And then those same writers elect Bud Selig, who represents the owners and the enablers,
Yep.
and put him in the Hall of Fame. The Major League Baseball Hall of Fame is not a Hall of Fame because the Hall of Fame is supposed to be a museum. And like it or not, the steroid era is an era and is part of the baseball history.
Amen.
And those men, and to deny history, bad things happen when you deny history and pretend things didn't happen. You have to acknowledge it, whether you like it or not. And there's a reason Major League Baseball will never put an asterisk next to Barry Bonds, because that's the owners admitting that they were wrong. They're not, you don't see them giving back the money that they collected. So I am sick and tired of going on Twitter, and I follow baseball things, and people say, you know, Barry Bonds, was he a good hitter or whatever? And then they say cheater. You see cheater. He was not a cheater. Rafael Palmeiro's a cheater because he got busted. He started taking steroids after Congress forced these owners who were making money, after they put in rules. Barry Bonds had to retire because his body started breaking down. That's a telltale sign. He was off steroids and he never failed a drug test.
Mac,
So
he was on steroids that were like for animals, dude. Yeah, he was on some weird stuff.
But that's not cheating. You
wasn't.
can't cheat if there's no rule. I mean, honestly.
You're right.
So how is it cheating? To me, you know, who knows? Athletes will take supplements. They take creatine. What if one day creatine becomes banned? Are we going to just judge a whole generation? I can understand. And he first started getting on steroids when he hurt his hamstring in '99. So to even say that he wasn't a Hall of Famer when he had 400 and something home runs and over 400 stolen bases, the only 400 guy, and multiple Gold Gloves and 2 MVPs before steroids. And same with Roger Clemens. He had a Hall of Fame career. I'm sick and tired of hearing it. It is wrong. And you're mad at the wrong people for Barry Bonds taking steroids. I'm not saying Barry Bonds was a nice guy. He wasn't. He stood off the media. He wouldn't give interviews. He was a jerk. But he deserves his props, and he's a Hall of Famer. And in my opinion, behind Willie Mays, he is the best, possibly the best baseball player to ever play. He is for sure the best 4-tool, because he didn't have a strong arm, so he wasn't a 5-tool, but the best 4-tool baseball player to ever live. That's my grievance.
Damn, dude.
It's outrageous, egregious.
I'm not going to lie to you. That was strong. Let me ask you this.
Yes.
To double down on that, and I've got a take on it too, but to double down on your point, how did you feel about Pete Rose becoming eligible after he died?
So here's how I feel. Baseball, look, let's not argue. The man on the field is a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest hitters of all time. There's no denying that. Whatever. But you don't see them giving forgiveness to Joe Jackson. That man, not only did he have to wait to die, but it's been over 100 years. And you could say, one could make an argument that the Chicago Black Sox team, there would have been some Hall of Famers on that team. But one could argue that they were in more of a spot to take the money from the mob to fix the World Series than Pete Rose was, because Comiskey was a jerk. He was a horrible person, and he stiffed his players, and they were playing for nothing. So, one's got to feed their family. That's how I see it. Rose, well, I mean, so if Joe Jackson and the Black Sox get what they've got, that sets precedence for Rose. You can't look. you can't be a manager and bet on your games. I'm sorry. You just can't, because you can manipulate it. You're in the game. He got what he deserved. I can understand why people want him in, but it was a rule. It was a rule, and he broke it. So if it's up to me, that's the rule. I don't know. He knew, and he knowingly did it. So it stinks, but that's how I feel.
Dude, you just nailed it. Like give it to me again, bro. That was great. Mac.
I'm sorry. I really hate to say that, because I understand, like, people my dad's age, they think Charlie Rose, they say he was a stud. And I'm, again, maybe I don't have a soft as a heart because I didn't get to see him play, so I don't have that emotional attachment. But I see it very black and white. That's how I really take a look at things.
He played the game with as much passion as the exact same amount of passion equal to the amount of stupidity to bet on the game.
Right.
If that makes any sense. Like he just played it different. So, dude, great call. Great freaking call. You're getting love all over the channel right now.
I haven't looked at it, but I appreciate it.
You're getting a lot of love.
Again, I might be biased because, yes, I won't lie, like any kid, I wanted to be Barry Bonds. I wanted to wear the number 25 and stuff like that because I was a Giants fan growing up. And one other thing that really should make Barry Bonds a Hall of Famer, and everybody in the chat or anybody who went to see him play in person, it was special, right? It was the same feeling. When they said his name, the whole ballpark stopped. Everyone stood up and they paid attention to that at bat. It was equal to going to the only thing I can equal it to is an NFC Championship game. It was special. When you heard them play the next episode and he walked up to bat, that alone. No other player is given. Buster Posey, love him, didn't give me that feeling. The only other time I maybe had that feeling is Madison Bumgarner, because he did some of the most special things you ever seen in the playoffs. But when you have a guy like that love him or hate him, you are paying full attention, or kids are running inside because he's coming up to bat. Because I remember playing wiffle ball. My dad saying, Barry's coming up and running in.
Yep.
Me and my friends. That's special. And that should be celebrated. I'm sorry.
I'm with you. Hey, Mac, great call, dude.
Thank you very much.
All right, buddy. Have a great day. And thank you again for what you do, brother.
See you later.
Hey, callers.
Daddy's back.
Do it better than Mac. I challenge you. Do it better than Mac. So a couple thoughts, Mac. I agree with you about Barry Bonds. I agree with you about the steroids era. Romanowski says, you think MLB players, or you think MLB wants to give a platform to steroid users? They gave them their ultimate platform. Here's what we forget. Mac said, coming out of the lockout, baseball was on life support. It was literally on life support. The way that I see it, and two things. Here's what I'll say. Look at what baseball's doing now. They're trying to evolve the game. They're trying to improve it. You know what else you need to do? You need to evolve and improve the process for deciding how and who gets into the Hall of Fame. You have to do it, number one. And number two, if you don't, you have to look at the steroids era as a historical era. It's got to have its own wing in the Hall. Because we only know about the players that got caught. How many players didn't get caught? So for baseball purists to come in here and say, well, steroids are one thing, it's taking drugs, you're cheating. Okay, well, what about greenies? There's been an entire, for almost as long as baseball has been relevant, There's been drug use in some kind or another. Hell, name me another sport that you can walk up to the plate and be using tobacco. Is there any other sport? Is Joe Burrow lighting up a cigarette when he drops back for a pass? No. Like, it's just different. Now, I understand with it being different comes this old school type of mentality. Had it not been for the steroid era, baseball very well could not be here the way we know it right now. And by the way, baseball, you know who's kicking your ass? The Savannah Bananas. They're selling out major league stadiums. Now, I'm not suggesting that Major League Baseball turns into a skit or something in the middle, but what I am suggesting is you might want to look at some of the ways they have gotten fans into the building. Besides dancing before starting lineups, besides people on stilts, there was actually some really smart things done there. I bet you there are more people that have watched the Savannah Bananas on ESPN. If you looked for as many games that the Savannah Bananas have been on ESPN or ESPN2, and you compared it to, I'm not going to say a baseball tonight game or a Sunday night baseball game, but you compared it to a weekday baseball game, the Bananas are drawn, dude. So you've got to recognize that era you do. And to Mac's last point, I was in San Diego for the tying home run that Barry Bonds hit. And it was freaking bonkers. Not just bonkers because of the Giants fans. It was fans in general. That was bringing out people that didn't really watch a lot of baseball. Or maybe Padres fans that never came back after the strike because they wanted to see something historic. You knew you were seeing something special. I have no tolerance for this old school style of thinking. Like, we're gonna recognize you for doing all this, but when it comes down to the Hall of Fame, when it comes down to anything else, yeah, you're not accepted here. It's stupid. Tobacco, bubble gum, and greenies. Yep, greenies. Stimulants, for those that don't know. Basically, como se dice Adderall, probably a little bit more looped up. Yeah, what was the movie where the guy took the bubble gum and wrapped it around the ball of chew? Oh, I will never forget that one. Bonds won't be home run king without the juice. I agree with you. So, Romanowski, where do we meet in the middle? You got to honor what the guy did. You could say the same thing about how many batters suffered, clean batters suffered at hitting because the pitcher was juiced and you never knew about it. It's just you can't embrace it. And that's exactly what MLB did. They knew what was going on. And also, it was a moving target. Max said it well. It wasn't cheating. It was legal, some of the stuff they were doing. It's an interesting conversation. I just think at the end of the day, if you don't want to acknowledge them individually, and there's been some ugly eras in baseball, right? Ugly. But they're recognized. Look at what baseball did last year with the Negro Leagues. In recognizing that, they do it on almost an annual basis. I believe it was added to the Hall of Fame. You got to add the steroid era to the Hall of Fame. You can't just have a gap that important in time because that was the defibrillator that brought baseball back. Cheating or not. Is Lance Armstrong bicycle Hall of Fame? Okay. So, Romanowski, I would just challenge you. I understand and I appreciate your argument that they were cheating. But if Lance Armstrong was or wasn't in cycling, cycling was going to be just fine. The sport wasn't at risk of going away. Baseball was. The Hall of Fame uses the images and memorabilia of steroid users throughout the building, except in the hall. Oh, except in the hall. Got it. Derek, those pond home runs to the Cove during that race was electric. It was insane. We did exactly what Max said. He was playing wiffle ball. We would be, I think it was my senior year of high school when it was the race between Sosa, McGuire, and Bonds. And we got together for Thursday night dinners at my best friend's house. His mom would make the same dinner. It became like a superstition thing before our football games. And no matter what we were watching, no matter what, when Barry Bonds or any of those guys came up, we were going right to that and watching it. Can you imagine the prop bets if prop bets like that were around? Be crazy. All right. So Mac gave this show a greenie today, dude. Good job, champ.
Hey, champ, you there?
But seeing as we are getting ready to wind down the daily version of the King's Court, I've been looking back and trying to remember some of the more popular segments that occurred on this show. Stuff that was spontaneous and stuff that stuck with the show. I'm going to give you some advanced homework before I play this. I'm going to tip you off to tomorrow. One of the very funny things that became a thing on the King's Court was Celebrity Row for Vivek. I think the last time we left off Celebrity Row, we were going to take 2 rows around the court, and that was going to be Vivek's area with all the B-list celebrities. And what was going to happen was they can go straight from the Kings games, walk over the Tower Bridge, go to the A's games, and they can just be amongst themselves. Vivek will be so enamored with the people there, he will completely forget that he owns a basketball team. And Scott Perry probably will run things. So there's my tip to you. Tomorrow's throwback is going to be Celebrity Row. So if you want to bring some good names, bring them tomorrow. We're going Celebrity Row. However, today, some of you are going to remember this. This will be new to some others. I'm going to throw it back to my trip to Dallas. Yes. So earlier this spring, I went to Dallas, caught up with Adam. We went to the SmackDown after WrestleMania. Mason Jones ended up being on my flight to Dallas. It was right after the Kings had won a championship. So I told that whole story, but then something happened on the way back home from Dallas. And it's ended up going down in history of this show. So for those that don't know and those that do know what's coming, enjoy. I hear about it all the time. Everybody's got a PDA story, right? Where you're in a movie theater and it's kind of one of those things where you can't be a hypocrite because what did we do as kids? If you're my age, and I'm not going to say my age because then I got to play the sound drop, right? Like there's a reason you went to the movies, right? There was a reason you went to the movies. You get it. But you also went to the movies. It was a dark room. Right? Like we've been around those people that are, and I'm not talking about 2 a.m. in the club randoms. You'll always find a couple randoms all over each other at 2 a.m. I'm talking about like at a Starbucks, right? Like when a lady is sitting on a guy's lap and they're enjoying their cup of coffee and they're reading the same newspaper together. In fact, one of them's holding one side, the other's holding the other side. We've seen that type of PDA, public displays of affection. What do most of us do when we see over the top PDA, like that's in the middle of the day, that is just in random places it shouldn't be? We go the other way. At least I go the other way. It's just like, I don't need to see it. I think it's great that y'all love each other, but I'm going to go the other way. And again, hand holding, no issue with hand holding. Now, groping, that's an issue. Let me give you an example. I was at a Thanksgiving where girlfriend and boyfriend all over each other. We are standing around the table, and there's about 30 people in the room. And we're holding hands, doing our grace before Thanksgiving dinner. And these two are literally kissing. As my grandma put it, I can't believe they're necking. I had to look up what necking was. But that's what my grandma ended up saying later, right? The person standing next to them, who was a relative to the female participant in the groping, in the necking, took his hand and started rubbing her backside because he wanted to see if she would even recognize it was her dad. He wanted to see if she would even recognize that it was another person doing it and not the boyfriend. Did not. So that type of PDA, right? Like you can't really get away from that because you're at grace. When you're PDAing it in situations where a person is forced to be a participant in it, that's a problem. And that is what happened to me on the flight home from Dallas. Okay? And I'm not exactly talking about two small individuals. My boarding pass was like B38, right? I've got a rule because I have two metal hips or not granite. What is it? It starts with a T, titanium, two metal hips. I try to keep it to the aisle seat in case I need to get up. It's kind of hard for me to climb over people. So I found an aisle seat, which when you are B38, that's actually on a full plane kind of hard to do. Because usually aisles and windows, those are the two things that people want. Well, these two individuals were a little bit oversized. So she was definitely protruding onto my side of the chair, right? No problem there. Whatever. Fine. I'm good with it. I'm not the smallest dude in the world either. Right? Thought it would end there. No. And by the way, stone cold sober. Not having cocktails on the plane. I mean, reading books. Yes, I did take Southwest, and their stock symbol is love. Okay. So I'm sitting there and I'm being polite because I'm on the aisle. I'm like, ma'am, is it okay if I reach up and grab the air thing so I can get some air on me, take off, right? And this type of PDA was the worst type of PDA because it was the slow PDA that kept building up and building up. And by the way, this was not a young couple. This was a couple that was easily in their 50s or 60s, right? Starts off with hand holding. No big deal. Go for it. I hold my wife's hand all the time. Probably held her hand on an airplane at some point, right? Then it moves on to the hand on the leg. Okay. I mean, on an airplane, whatever, maybe, she doesn't like flying, right? She doesn't like flying, but, I'm going to put my hand on her leg, make her feel comfortable, And then the hand started moving on the leg. And I immediately knew
I can't control my horny level.
we were going to have a problem. So, this is a situation. This is the worst of the situations. And by the way, nothing bad. They weren't doing anything, like nothing that would make you part of a club. They weren't doing anything that wasn't below clothing, right? But yes, it got to that point where it was incessant rubbing of the shoulders, incessant rubbing of the leg, whispering sweet nothings.
I can't
to
control my
each
horny
other.
level.
And by default, I'm a participant in it. And by the way, I can't go anywhere else. I can't change my seat. It's a full flight. I didn't have a choice. So for 3.5 hours, back and forth, just whispering, kissing on the neck, hands on the legs, just back and forth.
I can't
could
control my
not
horny level.
Control it. And I knew, look, that's what I thought at first. It's an anxiety thing. I get anxiety. Every male in our family has been or is a pilot. And I don't exactly enjoy flying. There's a reason that I did not pursue that field for a living. So I get anxiety on a plane. But these two were too much, quite literally, and too much with the PDA. And it's wrong. It's not okay. I don't have a choice. What am I supposed to do? Hey, flight attendant, and now be the next TikTok guy that's complaining about PDA and be called a male Karen or whatever you want to call it? But that's my seat. I can't go anywhere. In fact, it gave me more anxiety. The PDA gave me more anxiety than the turbulence that we experienced halfway through the flight. So PDA, if you're going to do it, one, you shouldn't. And number two, if you're going to do it, make sure it's not in a spot where people can't get away from you. At least give them an out. I had 0 out whatsoever. In fact, if my seat had an ejection lever, I would have pulled the lever. I would have ejected out of that 737 with my vest that I would need to blow up that automatically has a light, and landed somewhere in the mountains or a lake and felt much better about my situation than sitting next to those two. You got to be able to control it better. And I'm not trying to hate on people that love each other. I think love is a beautiful thing. But there is certain places. Take it to the bathroom. Take it to the bathroom. Seriously, take it to the bathroom. Or get first class where there's only 2 seats. If that's going to be your game, then cool. Then do it the right way. Don't do it that way. I mean, you're already a little self-conscious because you're coming into my seat. I know I would be self-conscious if my body was protruding into the other person's seat. But the swaying and the back and forth, oh, my goodness. I mean, I wish, like, all I could think about was Chris
I can't
Hansen
control my horny level.
for 3.5 hours saying this.
I can't control my horny level. I can't control my horny level.
That's what I wanted to say to those people. I could not get off that flight soon enough. And there you have it. There it is. The airplane story coming back from Dallas. Had I known that was going to be my trip home from Dallas, I would not have gone to Dallas. Adam, my man, you would have been going solo to the NBA or to the SmackDown show. I was not going to be a part of it. Completely off the cuff, was not a grievance. Just it was one of those things that I thought I was going to lock away and never tell anybody. And it all came out at once. And I know Grant has a famous rant that has to go with airplanes too. But, oh, man, something I don't want to rehash. That was classic. Yeah. So if there's any segments that you remember, let me know. We'll try to get them up before the week is over. Nothing wrong with there is, dude. If you don't have, or the other people that are out there wherever you're at don't have a way out, man. Like if I'm in a locked plane 30,000 feet above the ground, what am I supposed to do? I mean, we broke down. That segment went a good 20, 30 minutes more than what you saw, where people were giving ideas on what I should have done, telling me I joined a club. They might not be able to fit in the bathroom. They may not have. It's a good point. Should have paid for the headphones. Yeah, definitely. No, they didn't serve food on the plane horse. But if that was Haunted Horse, he'd be all down, man. Like, cue the music. He'd turn to the lady sitting next to him.
How big is your man?
I mean, you never know with this guy. You just don't. It's called foreplay. Getting that blue pill to start. My goodness. Yep, the drop. It was a plane flight that I will never remember, or I never forget. Plane etiquette. Plane bathrooms are small. Tristan Haunted Horse would love it. Excuse me, ma'am.
How big is your man?
Excuse me, sir. Who's that girl that you're making out with?
Who's next to you? There's a woman next to you.
That's my daughter.
Come on, Horsey. I love Horse. Horse is the best. So, anyways, if there's anything that strikes you about the show or a certain segment, let me know. I've given you advance notice. Tomorrow, we hit Celebrity Row. We are going to go in on Celebrity Row. If you know, then you know. If you don't know, start looking up the best list of B and C list celebrities that you can find. Like, look up the ones, like when you're driving down 99, you see that they're performing at Thunder Valley. Like, those are the people that we are looking for. The people that likely you wouldn't find at Bennett's American Cooking. Fine cuts of seafood and steak. Rockland, Roseville, Howe, and Fair Oaks. Grant and I are going to be at Bennett's all next week. And Grant has also teased maybe doing a show from somewhere. Make sure you pay attention. Grant, 7 o'clock tonight. Maybe I'll have an update. But seriously, they have been so great to this show, so great to this channel. Brian, Margot, the entire team out there, whether it is the best steak you've ever had in your life or you want something lighter like the steak Cobb salad, they've got something for you. and they run specials 7 days a week. You get your check and you're like, wait, I think you left something off, because the food, the ambiance, that good, super good serving sizes too. So, anyways, I could go on and on about them. I don't need to say anymore. Do me a favor, go to bennettsrestaurants.com. You can make reservations. You can check out all of their menus, including the new Taste of Summer menu. Go try it before summer runs out, and let them know you heard about them here on the channel, and let us know when you go in. We always like to pass that along to Brian. He likes hearing those stories. So, all right. Y'all ready for some grid time? Prime rib. Can't wait to get my now it's your Bennett's. Yes. Cue the Rick Rude music. You know what? That's actually not bad. What if I would have said, hey, what city were they in? What city was Rick Rude in? I mean, I definitely was not doing this. It's definitely not that. But where was Rick Rude when he said that? What if I would have called him Sweat Hogs?
For all you fat, out of shape, Springfield sweat hogs.
Rick Rude, man. So on Sirius XM, they just launched a wrestling station that's full-time wrestling now. I think he's from Minneapolis. I have no idea where he's from, but he was in Springfield when he said this. So probably Missouri.
Springfield sweat hogs.
And if you go look up that clip, there's a kid with a shaved head that looks like what's the big kid from The Sandlot? He looks like that kid, and he's got his shirt up, and he's doing the Rick Rude hip swivel. Oh my gosh, Rick Rude is the best. All right, it's that time. You know what? Let's get into it. Let's do our immaculate grids. Here's all I'm asking, okay? If you want to call in and you want to talk through it with us, you are more than welcome to. Put the link back in the chat. No, we talked about cheating with baseball. No intellectual cheating. We're not having any intellectual enhancers when we do this. If you hit AI, that's karma on you. We're trying to do this straight up, and I want to make sure we can at least finish one. The last 2 times we have not finished one. Jerry Reynolds finished one quicker than I could type. So here is our first immaculate grid. If you've never done the grid before, here's what you're looking for. It's going to be a category with 9 squares. You're going to see teams or a certain stat at each intersection of the square. And you're looking for the commonality. So if you, in this case, were to do the first square, you're looking for a Wizards and a Magic player, somebody that's played for both teams. Now, a couple things that we've learned about the squares is just because somebody has been on a team does not mean they have played for the team. We learned this with Jalen McDaniels, excuse me. So the more rare the player is, so if I just said like Kings and Wizards, Chris Webber, Mitch Richmond. Well, Mitch Richmond's actually a good one. That would work, but you're looking for more obscure. So, all right, here's the grid. Let's do it. Can we be better this week? Can we be better? I'm going to take myself down. Again, if you want to call in and be a part of it, you can. Let's start off here. I kind of already said it. What we are looking for, we are looking for a player who has played for the Magic and the Wizards. The Magic and the Wizards. Go in the chat. 30 seconds. Magic and the Wizards. Horse put Otis Thorpe before this began because he was bent about the last time. I will put a little more shine on your guesses, Horse. Wizards and the Magic. Any guesses? Let's think through this. Recent Wizard players. John Wall, no. Beal, no. There's a good one. Justin with the first good one. KCP. Also a Laker. Also a Nugget. KCP was there? Interesting. Scott Skiles. Good job. That's a really good one. All right, 15 seconds. Get them in. I'm going with Scott Skiles unless we get something better. We going Scott Skiles? Rooney. He played for both of those teams? You knew that, Tristan? Wow. All right. You know, I'm going to go, Tristan, I respect it. Let's save it because that same question could apply to Sacramento. Let's go Scott Skiles right here. He always kept a nice head. Always kept a nice head. And then Peter puts in the ones after the fact. Not sure if he played for the... Oh, D's not sure. All right, D. What the heck? You know what, D? I trust you. Here we go. Drum roll, please. Scott Skiles. Going once, going twice. Nailed it, D. Boom. Good job, dude. Well done.
Yeet.
We are off to a good start. No, just trolling from last time. All right, fair enough. All right, a Kings and a Magic player. Somebody that's played for the Kings and the Magic. Off to the races. 30 seconds. Begins on the yeet.
Yeet.
Yeah, that was good, dude. Really good. Yeah, that was solid. I don't know if we're gonna do any better than that today. I did not know that. Magic, a player that played for the Magic and played for the Kings. Who we got? Let me start thinking about this one. Magic and the Kings. Nick Anderson. It's best one yet. Verified too. Know that. Jason Williams. Interesting. Did he play for the Magic? I think he did. I think you're right, Tristan. Did Brian Grant ever make it out to the Magic? Hito. Good job, David. That's a good one too. You're absolutely right. Hito was there. I like Nick Anderson and Hito. I feel like Nick Anderson, because he played so many other places, and Tristan, I'm like 75% with you with Jay Will. We're going to go Hito Turkoglu. We're going Hito. Hito Turkoglu, King and a Magic. Here we go. Hito. So if you notice, our Scott Skiles won 34%. Good job. Yeet. At least we are 2 for 2.
Yeet.
Scott Skiles was a 3%er. I think what's the best? Yeah, Doug Christie would have worked there too. What's the lowest percentage? I think we had a 0.1%er one time. All right. Magic and Mavericks. Magic and Mavericks. Peter puts in our cheating answers. I like how he's doing that. Frank Mason. There you go. Tariq Abdul-Wahad. That guy was athletic. Magic and... Didn't Penny Hardaway play for both? Am I imagining things? Wasn't Penny in Dallas at one point? Hey, Penny! Hey, Penny! Little Penny was like the coolest thing ever. Tariq Abdul-Wahad. Are you going back to the Kings one there, Justin? We're going a Maverick and a Magic player. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, scream it out in your car, in your gym. What is it? Magic and Mavericks. No guesses yet. You're going to make me step in? Juwan Howard. Was he in Orlando? Yeah, you're right, David. He did play for Phoenix. Yeah, I'm a little stuck on this one too. Juwan Howard is what we have right now. Bonzi? No. I'm trying to go deep here. I'm thinking about Nick Anderson again now. Did Nick Anderson play there? All right, we're going with Juwan Howard. I guess we're stuck. All right, let's go Juwan Howard. We need phone a friend like Jerry Reynolds. All right, Juwan Howard for the win. Oh, late second. I like that better. But you know what? Because it's more guaranteed. Yeah, let's go there. JJ Redick. Good job by you. It's going to be like a 29%er, 27%. There you go. JJ Redick. Good job. Good job. Hey, we're 3 for 3 so far. We're doing good. We are doing well.
What do you guys want to talk about?
We are talking about a net and a wizard. A net and a wizard. Kevin Ollie. Peter, that would be the last question, correct or no? Are you saying a wizard and a net? Vince Carter. Good job, Matt. Okay, Vince Carter right now in the lead. The better question is, should we save Vince Carter for the Kings and the Nets? We'll think about that. Paul Pierce before the wheelchair. All right. Obscure. Can we get obscure? Nets. Think about back to the days playing in New Jersey. Jason Williams. Did Jason Williams play for both of those teams? Probably not a great name to bring up because of his history. Paul Pierce. All right. You know, Matt, I like your idea. Let's put it in for the Kings. So we'll put these in back to back. So Paul Pierce. Because a lot of people forget Vince Carter played in Sacramento. Paul Pierce, good job, 53%. We'll go Vince Carter right here. Boom. I think this is going to be under 10%. And I'm completely wrong. 39%. All right, that's 2 in a row. Good job, Matt. Good job, Justin. All right, we are looking for a net and a Maverick. Fairly simple. If you want to go for the big names, can anybody get a deep pull here? Bernard King, Kyrie Irving.
What?
Who else? Earl Boykins, man. Earl Boykins. Marcus Thornton. Yeah, I remember Marcus. Bernard King, is that where we're going? We got to do better than that. Nets and the Mavs. Nets and the Mavs. Think about like Mavs that used to come through. What about Jason Kidd? There's Tristan, right on time. Jason Kidd was in both places. Sean Bradley. There we go. Now we're getting exotic. Sean Bradley. Jason Terry. Yes, 100%. Yeah, 100% Flores. Okay, so I don't know with Bernard King. Are we going Bradley or Terry? Let's go Sean Bradley. Sean Bradley it is. Only a 9-year career, man. Crazy. 1%! Good job.
Hey, champ, you there?
Well done. All right. A wizard who has averaged 10 plus rebounds per game for a season. Who is a wizard that's averaged 10 plus rebounds in a season? Think about Wizards big man. Valanciunas wasn't there long enough. Chris Webber? C. Webb? I know Webb probably had a double-double year there. Chris Webber? Anybody do better than Chris Webber right now? Chris Webber, 10 plus rebounds per game. Wilt? While on the Wizards. Yes, 10 plus while on the Wizards. Wilt Chamberlain we have. You can even go back to the Bullets days. Who was the big man playing there when MJ was playing? Antoine Jameson? Wasn't he there? Should we put Chris Webber in? Wes Unseld. Justin, I need to know on a scale from 10 to 1, how confident are you? Because right now we're 6 for 6. Let me know right now, Justin. Where are you at? How confident are you in Wes Unseld? Brandon Hayward. Did Hayward average 10? Yeah, I'm going to go Weber, and I might be wrong. I might be wrong. Let's see. Let's see if Rhino screws it up. No, he does not. 6%. All right. We're still alive. We are still alive. All breaks.
I'm all gas,
They're
no
all
breaks
gas,
now.
no breaks now. We're going for 100%. Rhino is wrong. How was I wrong? Peter? All right. A king who's averaged 10 plus rebounds per game. Was Blade at 10? Think back to, was Brad Miller at 10? The easy answer is Domantas Sabonis. You're saying the grid cheated? Look at Peter. He's calling out the grid. This is from Basketball Reference. I don't mind the honesty. I've always said, call me out if I'm wrong. So if we're going for 100%, Domantas Sabonis is the answer. Who are the other good big men that you think of here in Sacramento? Corliss Williamson, did he average 10? Flores fighting. He had to. There's no way Basketball Reference got that wrong. OP, Matt Craig says. Did OP? OP was off the bench, though, wasn't he? Cousins. Oh, man. That guy. That's true. All right. Are we going Cousins or Sabonis? Cousins or Sabonis? I'll give you 30 seconds. Cousins or Sabonis? Only 8 Kings have averaged 10. We've got 2 of them. Peter, we won't use this name, but can you give me a yes or no on Vlade? I'm very curious about that. I got to think Vlade had 10. And I bet Weber is in that category too. So maybe that's 4 of the Kings with 10. Brad Miller is another one that comes to mind. I don't think Kazi averaged 10. LaSalle Thompson. All right, let's go Cuz. Nobody's answering. Let's go Cuz. Here's the other thing. It could be we need to. Vlade's not on the list. We can reverse engineer this. It could be somebody that was at the. Well, maybe it can't. I don't want to mess with the grid rules. The grid sometimes does not play friendly. So DeMarcus Cousins, there he is, 23%. Peter, who are the 8? Put them in if you don't mind. I want to see what that full list is. All right, a Mav who averaged 10 plus rebounds per game, and we are almost home. The final Immaculate grid, at least we are going to finish. That's going to make me really happy. Good job, y'all. Sabonis on the list. Weber on that list. Weber, Cousins, there's 3. Who else, Peter? There probably was one during the 90s, that late 80s, 90s. Thinking about Jerry's teams. Dallenberg? Did Dirk average 10 per game? Bet 8 or bet 6 says Dallenberg for this one. I don't know if I trust that. No, I trust you, bet 8. I'm just trying to put the pieces in my head together. Looking for a Maverick who has averaged 10 plus rebounds a game. Who was the big guy for the Mavericks when they used to roll through here in 2002, 2003, 2004? Who was the big guy when they won the championship? Any names come to mind? Any names come to mind? Who are the Mavericks greats at that position? We're going silent. I can hear a pin drop in here. Dirk had to be close, but I wouldn't be confident in it, especially with our last one. What about this last year? How about Tyson Chandler? Tyson Chandler's got to have 10 per season. Anybody disagree with that? Don't put me in this position, Horse. Horse, you're going to put me in a position where the final week, Tyson Chandler, I know. Okay, so here's the big question. Horse got all bent out of shape because I didn't take his name before. He's saying Dirk had 10 or more per season for a season. But first, Jerry Lucas, Maurice Stokes, Sabonis, Arnie Risen, Cousins, Weber, Sam Lacey, Wayne Embry. Okay, so horse. This is the last time we do an immaculate bracket around here on this show, at least for a very long time. Are we gonna leave it in Haunted Horse's hands for Dennis Rodman or Dirk, or are we going Tyson Chandler? He's saying don't pick mine. Too much pressure. All right, I'll put the pressure on me. Dallas only has 2 players that average 10 plus rebounds. Holy crap. So is Sean Bradley a qualifier? We can't use him. It wouldn't have been Sean Bradley. He's just, oh, Luca. Luca or Tyson Chandler? Going once, going twice. What do you guys think? Luca or Tyson Chandler? Justin says Dennis Rodman. Dennis, are we going Dennis Rodman? I don't even remember Dennis in Dallas. Peter. Oh, man. Rhino's going to mess up a perfect grid. Oh, man. Luca. No, you know why it wouldn't be Luca? It can't be Luca. Because he would average triple-double. All right, we're back to Tyson Chandler. I'm thinking about Mavericks this year. Let's go where it came to me. I'll take the Heat if it's not me. If I get this wrong. Oh. Amari Stoudemire. Wasn't Stoudemire in Dallas? All right, everybody says TC, but all right, let's do it. Tyson Chandler. Here we go. Tyson Chandler survey says perfect bracket. Yes. Let's go.
Woo!
Let's go. Good job, everybody. How about that? We got through it. I love it. Tyson Chandler, 61%. So not exactly. Well, I guess, Peter, if there's only 2, it's going to be one or the other. So Roy Tarpley was the other with 10 plus. We did it. But it wasn't, see, that would have been, that's the problem, Justin. I think it has to be with the team. I don't think it's like back at the bench kind of thing, unless it's just like they played for the team. His best year was 9.9. Hey, at least we filled it out. That's all I wanted. Scott Skiles was the pick of the bracket. Scott Skiles. Oh no, Sean Bradley. Sean Bradley was the pick of the bracket, followed by Skiles, and then Chris Webber. So good job, y'all. Good job. Good work. We finished it. I love it. Awesome. Well done. Well freaking done. Don't forget, Napes back tonight. Join him 7:00. And we are counting the days, which I want to make sure everybody knows that this channel goes nowhere. This channel is going to be very much alive, especially during the Kings season. We are going to continue for as many post games. If the Kings are on the West Coast, you are 100% getting a post game that night. And we even think many of the Midwest and maybe some of the East will be able to get at least Grant will be on the post game with you. So make sure that you stay subscribed to the channel. And as we do every single year, we're going to improve it. We already have received word that I will have my credentials, so I might be doing post game from the arena. You're going to be getting, just like you get other places, I will be uploading specific things of footage that we take right here to this channel at practice and interviews with players, etc. So subscribe if you haven't already. Give us a like on X. Give us a thumbs up. That would go a long ways too. And yeah, for those that are like, well, why is the King's Court going away? It's because Grant's back in Sacramento beginning September 2nd. And we're back. Grant's back to win, take back Sacramento market here for the drive time. I've just kept the seat warm. I've been preparing for this to get Grant back in here. But no, in all seriousness, Fox Sports Sacramento, 104.7 FM, 890 AM. It's on. It's on, y'all. Can't wait. We debut September 2nd. Let me tell you, you do not want to miss the September 2nd show. Let me repeat that. You do not want to miss the September 2nd show. I already know some of the things that are confirmed for the September 2nd show. You're going to want to be there. Trust me. If you haven't already, also download the Fox Sports Sacramento app, KSAC. You can put it into your app store or Google Play. And yeah, make sure you're following them on the socials. Make sure that you're checking their website as well, showing them some love. This is, we're taking it back. Grant is taking Sacramento back, and he is back to win. So September 2nd, Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m., the Grant Napier Show is back in Sacramento. If you're just joining us, special thank you to Bennett's for sponsoring today's show. Go to bennettsrestaurants.com. And if you look up tonight, you might see the beam. You're more than likely to see the beam. The Kings are going to test it out tonight to make sure that it works. And if you're concerned that the Kings might not win a game this season, make sure you go look at the beam tonight. Get a nice picture of it. The King's Court is going away because the water hole ratings put it off the air. Yeah, if you want to sell it that way, yeah, even though we're in separate time slots and talk about completely separate things. Like if I went to the haunted horse wheel and we played haunted horse roulette, like if somebody put in a number, like number 7, and I hit number 7, maybe we'll do that on Friday. Since this show in its daily form, live on YouTube, is going away, I'll lose my job if some of these things that Haunted Horse has said are said right here. So I want to make sure I do it on the last day. You never know what's going to come out of his mouth. You just don't. You don't. I mean, when you go on a nationally syndicated broadcast and announce that you have a child,
Haunted double
you just don't know what's going to come out of that.
I also fathered an illegitimate child.
Yeah, he's going to show up Friday. He wants to hear his own drops. Oh, yeah, for sure. Drop in. That's going to be a full show. Yeah, everybody's more than welcome to drop in. And by the way, with the King's Court, I want to make this clear, if it's not clear already. The King's Court's not going away. In fact, the King's Court is going to get way stronger. All of you that have been here on a daily basis grinding, you are the freaking G's. We're still going to do meetups, number one. We're going to make sure that happens. We are also going to do a live show at least once a week, once the radio show starts. But you will have daily audio, Spotify, Apple Podcast, daily audio from the King's Court. Now, I know, but Rhino, there's no chat. We can't correspond back and forth. That's okay. We will find other ways. We'll save it for that one day a week where we can. But you will have daily audio, especially during the Kings season, and it's going to be exclusive audio. You know, when you go to Hoops Hype, you go to other places, you're going to see a lot of the stuff that we break or we talk about right there, because I'm going to be closer than I have before. And I've been close. It's been quite an experience. working my way through it, and probably the most satisfying experience isn't to have a credential and take that next step. I think it is to have created a little bit of turbulence amongst this podcast community. But more important than that, to be told no, but still be able to work my way in there and create my own access. That is probably the most important thing I take away from that process. And I'm not talking about all of you, but in terms of covering the Kings, it was kind of sweet, especially with Stockton and having to create your own connections. There's something about doing it yourself that's pretty cool. And obviously, without viewers, without Grant, there is none of that. But still, I appreciate that just as much as anything. So, anyways, Gail, what's up? Love the King's Court, Gail. Now you are an OG. She is the star of the Jim Rome Show. It should be called the Jim Rome Show with Gail and Valencia. So yeah, watch out. You're going to be hearing Gail's name a lot. For those clones, she just got a golden ticket and she smashed who Peter is referencing right here to get the golden ticket. That was cool. That was really cool. Proud of Gail. Gail is awesome. She is great people. Gail's like, I've never met Gail in person, but I talk about like Mason Jones, great one, where I say like, you can't help but just like meet him at his energy level. His positive energy is infectious. I get that from Gail. So few people. Anita, yes, I've heard from her. She sent me a text message. Anita's exact same way. Unbelievable people. Really funny how Anita and I got hooked up. She's always been a fan of Grant's, but she came out to the event where we shaved our heads at Bennett's, and I think it was like 16,000 that we raised, mostly for charity. And my parents had a booth right where Grant and I were doing the shows from, and there was just one seat available. And she's like, "Oh, do you mind if I join you guys?" And no, and she had no idea that that it was my parents, and that's how. So Anita's part of the family. She is actually legit part of the Ryan and Sacktown family. She has been with all of them, and we all had a good night. And yeah, growing the relationship from there. Nita and I try to get to lunch once, brunch at least once a year. We're trying to get that scheduled now. So appreciate you, Gail. I don't know that I want to end on this. So let's just leave it at that. We'll talk about the CrossFit thing tomorrow. I don't want to end the show on a downer. Reminder, if you have a segment or anything from the King's Court that you'd like me to recap, or you think it would be funny to replay the video like we did earlier today with the plane flight back from Dallas, where you all said that I joined a club. No, did not join a club. Not even close. In fact, you can't argue that I joined a club because I was forced into where I was sitting. I should file a lawsuit against Southwest. It's kind of the same thing as P. Diddy. It's transporting work and getting way off track. We're out. Good job on the grid today, y'all. Kevin making it in late and demanding to be acknowledged. You know, Kevin, because we are getting close to the end of the daily live show.
Acknowledge me.
There's your acknowledge, buddy. Appreciate you. And for everybody else, you know I acknowledge you. Friday's going to be a fun show. Probably going to be a little emotional. But it'll be more fun than anything because we're on to bigger and better things, which is Fox Sports Radio. I am blessed to be joining Grant over there as his producer and on-air contributor. Remember, I should say, Grant is back in SAC 9-2. September the 2nd, mark your calendars. That is a show that you do not want to miss. Not only because it's Grant's first time back on the radio here in Sacramento in many years, but there are going to be some major surprises on that show. So make sure that you are all locked in Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 o'clock, and download the KSAC app, as I've said a few times today already. If you haven't already, show them some love. Follow Fox Sports Sacramento on YouTube, or you can follow them on YouTube, also Instagram and X. Go follow them because there's going to be a lot of joint content going there, and we're excited for the next step. Speaking of the next step, it's Grant, 7 o'clock tonight. Join him. Good job on the grid today. Good job overall. Love seeing new faces in here, even as we get ready to change forms with the King's Court a little bit and move on to the next step, which is not Haunted Horse taking the airtime. Can you imagine Haunted Horse getting an hour on this channel? What would he do? It was weird enough when he co-hosted with me one time. Anyways, join Grant. He'll be talking NFL, NBA, whatever you want. Dennis is going to hammer him over the head with Westbrook and Kuminga again. But nevertheless, Nape's back tonight, is excited as ever to be launching the Grant Napier Show again. Fox Sports Radio, KSAC 104.7, 890 AM. Go Kings. Enjoy the beam tonight. It's supposed to be lit. Kings testing it out. Have a great evening. We'll talk to you tomorrow. 2 more days left here on the King's Court.
Order in the court.